And today, after robbing us, they say they pretend to love Africans, right? But Africans find it, even government officials find it difficult to even obtain a visa to go there. Government officials have to be fingerprinted as if we are criminals. And then they stand and say, oh, we care about Africa. When anybody who talks about immigration, first of all, is talking about Africans. It's not any other person. Other races find it much easier to enter their countries than African blacks. And so it is also a question of we blacks, and especially as African leaders, to wake up and stand up for them. And that is my message. Unfortunately, some of us are just praising him, and I have nothing against him. I have nothing against anybody. But I believe in one thing, that if you are not going to be sincere about anything, don't talk about it. If you are not convinced about what you are saying, don't pretend that you love Africans, and when all what you read for Africa is just havoc and then racism. This is the point. Remember that when we talk about international law or international institutions, can you imagine all African heads of state, including myself, signing a letter to the UN Security Council telling them that the case of Kenya should be deferred for 1 year or at least 1.5 years. Guess what we got as a response? No. And who are those who said no? Those who are talking loud about human rights and the ICC are not even signatories to the ICC Charter. So, why would you set up an institute? Why can an institution be set up only to be hijacked by those who do not subscribe to that institution and want to use it against Africa? But you know, before we signed up that letter, I told them, unless we send them a clear message, they are going to take us for a ride. Nobody listened to me. Oh, we don't want a confrontation. I would rather have a confrontation than be insulted. After all, we are not a minority in this world. When you look at the white race, one thing the world doesn't know is that they are the smallest minority in terms of race. You look at China as a race, Chinese, they are 10 times larger than the European race. So put Africa and others. How come this small minority have been leading this world for the past 500, 600, 700 years? This is unacceptable. It is not even democratic that a minority rules over the majority for 700 years. So Africans, we should respect ourselves. Because when we look at, if we put Nigeria and Sudan together, or Mali and Sudan together, in terms of landmass, it's 10 times bigger than the continent of Europe. And up to today, we are bound down to Europe. This is unacceptable. I'm not a racist, but I will not accept nonsense from anybody. Gambia can be small, but we are not small people. We are all human beings, irrespective of the size of the country or the economic situation of the country. But look at it. Did you ever wonder why they are a minority? You take the Indian population, add it to the Chinese population, they are 100 times or 1,000 times larger than the entire white race in this world. And then they have been ruling for a very long time. Time has come for real democracies to exist. At least let each continent rule itself. Let each race rule itself. Let each race keep to their natural resources. You know, but it's of course also we, the Africans. They use some of you to castigate African government because you want a visa to go there. And they go there and say, you what? When you are old, you end up being homeless. Now, coming back to poverty. There isn't a single country in this whole world where we don't have poor people. But thanks to God, in the Gambia, we are classified as the poorest. But my people don't sleep outside, and my people they are not homeless. Gambians are not homeless, even foreigners are not homeless. No person, except madmen, is from the garbage, from the trash bins. So poverty by whose standards? You cannot judge me by your standards. The climatic conditions are different. Where I came from, France, I dare not stand outside with all ladies talking to you. So the climatic conditions are different, so don't judge people by your standards. It is even undemocratic. So when they say, oh, massive poverty in the Gambia, and Yaya Jammeh is spending 1 million to celebrate his birthday, whose father's million is that? Now, if you care so much about the Gambian people, bring what you have taken from us, plus 25%, and see who's going to beg who. But at least in the Gambia, I have not seen a homeless Gambian. I have not seen a Gambian die of starvation. And I have not seen a sane Gambian eating from the trash bin. So poverty is by stomachs. So, but you, especially the younger generation of Africans, you have to be very careful. Wanting asylum doesn't mean that you should sell your country or destroy your country.